Hey, honey.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, everybody. My name is Fen, and this is Rush Review, a review show where we go through my copious amounts of gaming books, magazines, and other paraphernalia one at a time. And to keep me from rambling, we have Laura.
Hey, everybody. So to keep us on track, I'm going to ask a list of questions.
All right, go ahead.
So what are we reviewing tonight?
We're reviewing Dragon Magazine number 137.
He's riding the dragon.
Yeah. You can, as long as you and the dragon share the same kind of goals and you come to an understanding, usually you can ride a dragon.
I want to ride a dragon.
Well, possibly if you play some D&D and befriend a dragon, you can ride a dragon.
Okay, anyways.
Alright.
So where did you get this magazine?
Again, these old dragon magazines, I got these all from Eagle Hill. Guy was selling his collection for $5 a magazine, and every time I went in when I was playing Star Wars and Magic in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, and I was playing D&D at the time too, I picked up some dragon magazines.
Cool. Do you want to give us a quick synopsis of the articles inside?
Well, this magazine and one of the other ones, I believe, came out around the same time as the Wilderness Adventurer rulebook. So this one is all about wilderness adventures. A lot of the theme for this magazine. The first issue, the first article in it is called "What's for Lunch?" It's rules for hunting wild game. Basically has, so you roll your hunting proficiency and be successful, and then the DM there's tables in here for what kind of environment are you in. Okay, this is what you find. Okay, and then you can go from there and actually go and get a bison or an antelope or a walrus, which were new monsters included in this article that weren't in the monster manual. And there's also a prehistoric random hunting encounter table for if you're in a Ice Age, so
if you encounter a woolly mammoth.
like a woolly mammoth.
What about a dinosaur?
Yeah, it's Plasticine, so I don't think it was actually dinosaurs. Let me check. No, it's definitely Ice Age. We got woolly mammoth, woolly rhinoceros, cave bears, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. The next article is the one-page Daily Planet gaming supplement. They had one every month, just like they had, we'll get to the Marvel file, but this is the DC comic superhero. It's a combination ad along with a stat block for an NPC. This one was advertising, you'll be interested in this as a Wonder Woman fan. They're advertising the Strangers in Paradise, which was the Wonder Woman source book. And the Rugged Results book was focused on the Masters of Disaster and Reaver villain groups, which I don't really know who those were, but I was actually impressed because a lot of the Marvel file superheroes, the Marvel ones, the deep cuts, I don't know them as well, but this one actually had the stats for Shadow, who in the Arrow TV series was one of the people that taught Oliver Queen how to actually fight and do all of his cool stuff that he did to become the Green Arrow.
Okay.
Yeah. She was actually one of my favorite characters they introduced later in the series. So I was actually happy to see I got the stats for her.
Yeah.
The next article is Treasures in the Wild. Basically how to make money out of hunting animals. So it's like the money you would get for getting their pelts or ivory or poisons you can extract. Again, building that whole Witcher aspect of the game.
So first you hunt them, and then you can sell them.
You can sell them, and I also gave the price for their young, like for eggs or pups, or in the case of carnivorous plants, seedlings.
Interesting.
Speaking of carnivorous plants, the next article is the ecology of carnivorous plants, discussing on the living habits of meat-eating plants to use them in the game to make them more natural. So where would a Venus flytrap?
So you can build like your own little shop of horrors.
Pretty much. Or really flesh out like the kind of environment you want to have if you want to have a jungle of horrors. The next article is Weathering the Storms. It's a weather system to basically generate the weather patterns and get like a daily forecast for D&D World. It's similar to the one that's in the World Builders Guidebook, which we reviewed before on the channel. This one is a lot more, I'm actually surprised because this time around I found like this article had a lot more information than the World Builders Guide does, because I usually default to that over a lot of the articles. But being able to sit there and be like, yeah, you got like a 75% chance of rain today with wind gust up to like 40 miles an hour. It's like, what?
Stay inside.
Yeah.
It's nasty out.
The next article is the Age of Mammals. It's more stats for the Cenozoic era. Mostly animals in the right after the dinosaurs, so not during the Ice Age, but that period. Dinosaurs died, these things were all over the place, and then we had the Ice Age. So it has like the random encounter tables, using the monsters from the monster manual, basically create like a Land of the Lost type adventures.
Right.
Was that one. The next article is the Fairest of the Fairs. Notes on creating fairs and festivals for a game world. Looking at like religious fairs, royal fairs, like royal wedding ceremonies, and traditional like yearly festival type things. There's 11 sample fairs in that article to inspire a DM. Next up is the monthly column, The Game Wizards. This month is talking about ways to spice up and make the TSR also released a game called The Hunt for Red October. Basically, we're going to do submarine Cold War fights, and this article was just like, here's some ways to make things a little more balanced and some different alternative scenarios you can play out using this game. Which, so basically a little DLC content before we had download on the internet for a board game.
Okay.
The next article is Up and Running in the Land of Mutants. Alternate character building tables for the Gamma World game, the mutants and the radioactive fault wasteland. This is a way to make starting characters, so instead of them being very fluctuating on level of power, this is to make something that's like, yeah, it's actually a heroic mutant instead of like, you just not really functional, kind of like, I'm just going to scrap this character sheet and hope the DM lets me make a new one, which was a lot of times you'd have that with the old standard rules for D&D, where basically you rolled your 6 stats with 3 dice and you went right top to bottom, and then after what you rolled is what you're going to play. But so a lot of people are like, I rolled really bad on my strength, but I rolled really good on my dex. Okay, I guess I'm playing a thief. This was one of those ways of like, all right, let's do some. You can play around with your stuff and make your character actually function the way you want it to function. The Marvel file for this issue is not actually featuring any superheroes or supervillains, any of those deep cut, nobody knows who the heck these guys are, superheroes. At least I don't know who they are, because I know the MCU, I don't know the comic books all that well. So if it hasn't been turned into an MCU character, I really don't know about it, unless it's like the X-Men.
So what is this month?
This month is just a Q&A focusing on some rules questions. One of the questions somebody asked in was, what would be the stats for a Megalodon shark? So we actually have the stats for the Megalodon shark for the Marvel superhero game. So if you want to make Spider-Man fight a Megalodon shark, you got the ability to do it at that point. The last article in this that I wanted to talk about was the role-playing reviews, and this actual issue when this came out was September of '88. Is also when the second edition of Top Secret SI came out. And it's also when the official James Bond 007 RPG game came out, so they had the reviews for those games in here.
Okay.
Never got the chance to play either one of those games, so I know nothing about it. So.
Okay, cool. So what articles from this issue are you going to be keeping?
I think the Fairest of the Fair article was cool, but the storms definitely, and a lot of these tables for hunting monsters, getting treasure from monsters, and just having all these nice prehistoric monster stats. There's actually a future issue we're going to be reviewing that actually started getting my brain going on an idea for a prehistoric adventure. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's all my questions.
Anybody out there actually ever played Top Secret? I mean, I got all these different things, these articles I keep reading about the game, but I'm like, I never played it. What was your opinion? Tell me if I should track down a copy of Top Secret. Leave that in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for staying till the end of the episode. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at Board Barista Productions. And if you want to support us, Patreon link at the bottom.